Hi there, welcome to Lilly-Tree. In this video we're making this easy wire wrap pendant with a tumbled gemstone, and I'm confident in calling this project ideal for beginners as it's the very first jewellery I ever made. For more projects, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Now let's get wrapping. I started making jewellery way back, before the internet, and I spent happy times picking through those boxes of tumbled gemstones that appeared in many gift shops. So this was a way of making them wearable. You can also now get these gemstones online, and I'll go into a bit more detail on that in a bit. So for this project, you need 0.6mm diameter wire, which is 24 gauge, and a tumbled gemstone. As I mentioned, you can now get these online. Look for tumbled stones or irregular shaped gemstones. I'll also put a couple of links in the description below if you want an idea of what you're looking for. These are affiliate links, so I get a small percentage of any purchase made through these links at no extra cost to you. For this project, the shape of the stone is important. The width needs to be reducing down to a point. So if we take a look at these stones that I've got in my collection, this one's not going to be any good, it's too round. These are great, they're both reduced down to a point. You want them basically triangular. This kind of diamond shape's okay, but I'd need to hold it below the widest point, so quite low down. And this citrine will be fine. And finally, this rose quartz has got a nice triangular shape too, but it's quite large, so I think I'll save that for another project. So I think I'll use this agate, which, just to help you understand the sizing, is just over 2.5 centimetres long, which is just over an inch, and 2 centimetres, or just under 3/4 of an inch at its widest point. But you can do this wrap with larger or smaller stones. And the tools needed are wire cutters, round nose pliers, chain nose pliers, and then a mandrel or something similar. This is for making the bail, so you might be able to use your round nose pliers for this, or bail making pliers if you've got them, a mandrel from the gizmo tool, maybe a knitting needle, but I'm going to use exactly what I used to use, which is the top of my pair of compasses. You just need something round and large enough to fit a chain or cord through. We're starting with a piece of the wire that's 20 centimetres long. Make it a little bit longer for a larger stone. We're going to fold it in half. And at the centre point, we just want a rounded loop. And we can use our chain nose pliers to help with that. I'm just using them to grip the wire and letting that curve form naturally. Doesn't need to be too large. So we can use the chain nose pliers to push those wires together a bit. Make sure the wires are running side by side. Then holding that folded end in the centre back of the stone, start moulding it around the stone. I'll just show you what it looks like from the front. As you're coming back around, you want to thread those two ends through that loop, which is easier to do if you take the stone out. Just thread them most of the way through. Make sure they're running parallel. And then you can fit the stone back in and shape the wire around it. You want it to be hugging the stone quite tightly. And sitting more or less where you want it to finally be. Then you want to bend those wire ends upwards. Make sure the wires are still in the right place. And then bend those wires over. Leave quite a space at the top there, that's going to make your bail, but you probably need more wire there than you think. and then feed those wire ends underneath the 2 wires that are going across the stone at the front. And then just pop that gemstone out for a moment, and you can trim those wires. I haven't got much spare here, so I'm just going to level them up. And then bend those 2 wires forwards with my chain nose pliers. And use my round nose pliers to curve those wire ends over. Can then come in with my chain nose pliers again and just tighten all of that together. Now those wires aren't going to pull out, so we can pop a gemstone back in, make sure everything's sitting nicely. And we're ready to make the bail. At this point, our gemstone's not going to fall downwards, but we can still move it upwards. So by making the bail, we're going to fix everything together. So I'm just going to put my mandrel in at the top of that curve and press the wires together a bit, so they're moulding around the top of the stone and are quite close together. I'm then just going to twist the gemstone and the mandrel, so the wires twist together and the mandrel leaves the space for the bail. Now you want to make as many twists as you need to tighten that wire to the gemstone. Now I can use a chain to hang it, but I always put them on cord, so I'm going to keep with tradition here. And I did just tie it with a simple knot, but again you could add some cord ends and a clasp if you wanted to. And the pendant's finished. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and head over to my website for more hints, tips and projects. Or stick around for a few seconds for a couple more suggestions on what to watch next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.